This video is brought to you by CAP, your friendly student accountants who will deliver you a lesson on debits and credits, two major themes in the accounting field. This video will focus on how transactions should be recorded using debits and credits, definition on assets, liabilities, and owner's equity accounts, followed by examples, the expanded ledger accounts, and the fundamental accounting equation.
Okay, today I'll be talking about how transactions are recorded using the debit and credit T accounts. There's something called the debit and credit theory which will help you understand T accounts much more. Okay, so debits are always on the left side of the T account and credits are always on the right. So we borrow $100 cash from Mrs. Wang. We will place $100 cash in debits under bank because referring back to the debit and credit theory, the debit column for assets means increase. And remember, debits always equals credits in every transaction, so there would be a $100 increase in accounts payable and credits. It is very confusing, but you can always look back to the debit and credit theory, which will help you understand the types of accounts when increase or decrease when under the debit or credit column.
We just purchased an automobile from Gotham Motors for $25,000 with a down payment of $5,000. Cash would be credited $5,000, which means that we have paid someone that money because credits under assets is a decrease. We have rest to pay $20,000, which will also be credited under accounts payable for Gotham Motors, which means that the money we now owe them has increased because it is under credits for our liability. And $25,000 will be added to debits under automobiles to show we now have a vehicle worth that amount.
Assets, liabilities, and owner's equity. First off, assets. What is an asset? It's an economic resource, anything tangible and intangible, capable of being owned or controlled, something of value, has a positive economic value. For example, buildings, cash, equipment, inventory, and land. Next is liabilities. What is a liability? An obligation, a credit from supplier, a claim against the asset, paying money to another party. For example, accounts payable, wages, interest payable, loan, and income tax payable. Last is owner's equity. What is owner's equity? So the basic formula is owner's equity equals assets minus liabilities. It's the book value of a company. It represents what business owes to its owners, represents what the business is worth. For example, share capital, retained earnings, reevaluation surplus.
Under the owner's equity section, there are 4 types of accounts. The capital account helps you determine the equity at the start of the fiscal period, and the accounts drawings, revenues, and expenses help you determine the change in equity for the fiscal period based on net income or net loss. With the basic ledger, the owner's equity section was integrated into one capital account. Through the expanded ledger, the owner's equity section is split into different accounts: capital, drawings, fees earned, which is revenue, and different types of expenses. With the previous trial balance, you can see that only one capital account was used under the owner's equity section. Through the expanded ledger, there are now additional accounts under owner's equity and not only one capital account. With the expanded ledger under owner's equity, all accounts that have a normal debit balance include expenses, withdrawals, and losses. All accounts that have a normal credit balance include revenues, investments, and gains. The debits and credits theory in relation to the expanded ledger can be analyzed with this example of the Canadian accounting program. The basic ledger only had one capital account, which included all types of accounts under owner's equity. With the expanded ledger, you can see that the total under capital in the basic ledger is split into several different accounts: capital, drawings, revenue, and expenses, which have either a debit or credit balance based on the transactions that have occurred.
And there you have it, folks, a great lesson made for you to understand thoroughly about debits and credits. Thank you, ladies and gents, and have a great day.